My friends, tonight I stand before you to share a truth so simple that many overlook it. The life you live is not shaped by the world outside, but by the world you carry within. What you imagine, what you feel, and what you assume to be true becomes your reality. Tonight I will give you 10 steps to awaken the creative power that already lives within you. My friends, everything begins with consciousness. Everything you see, everything you touch, everything you call real is but a shadow cast by the state of consciousness you occupy. If you truly wish to change your world, you must first change the place from which you live within yourself. Most people believe that life is happening to them. They believe they are the victims of circumstance, that chance and luck and other people are the deciding forces of their destiny. But I tell you tonight, nothing comes into your life uninvited. Everything you encounter was summoned, knowingly or unknowingly, by the state you dwell in. Consciousness is not passive. It is not a mirror simply reflecting the world around you. Consciousness is creative. It shapes, it molds, it calls forth form from the unseen. What you consent to as true, what you accept as your identity, must appear as the reality of your world. So I ask you now, who are you in consciousness? Not what name is on your driver's license, not the title on your job, not the roles that others assign to you. Who are you really in the stillness of your own awareness? For as you answer, so will your world answer back. If you believe yourself to be weak, life will show you weakness. If you believe yourself to be unwanted, people will treat you as such. But if you dare to believe yourself favored, powerful, chosen, then life cannot help but bend to the image you hold within. For the outer is nothing but the inner pushed out. Let me give you an example. Imagine a man who walks through life saying to himself, I am unlucky. Nothing works out for me. People ignore me. What do you think happens to this man? He sees proof of his belief on every corner. Every closed door, every missed opportunity, every disappointment is but a reflection of his own assumption about himself. His world is not against him. His world is only echoing his self-definition. Now picture another man. He says to himself, I am guided. I am blessed. Everything I need comes to me at the perfect time. And though he may face the same struggles, the same marketplace, the same city, his experience will be entirely different. Why? Because his state of consciousness orders the events of his life. He has chosen a different starting point, and the ending must follow. This is why I insist that consciousness is the only reality. You cannot change the outer by wrestling with it. You cannot fight with shadows and hope to win. If the picture displeases you, do not strike the canvas. Change the paint within. Transform your assumption of self, and the outer scene will rearrange itself with mathematical precision. You may say, but how can my thoughts and feelings alter the events of the world? How can something so intangible have such power? I answer, look to your own experience. Has there ever been a time when you anticipated joy and the world suddenly brightened? Has there ever been a moment when you carried resentment and the day seemed to collapse upon itself? You know by your own life that consciousness colors everything. Do not make the mistake of thinking this is a small influence. It is the only influence. Consciousness is not part of the cause, it is the cause. Everything else is effect. So how do we work with this power? First, we must become aware of the states we habitually occupy. Most people drift unconsciously from one state to another, never realizing that their private moods are the seeds of their public life. They entertain worry and then they wonder why trouble visits them. They dwell in self-pity, and then they ask why opportunities pass them by. My friends, you cannot reap what you do not sow, and every state of consciousness is a seed. Tonight I invite you to take inventory of yourself. Ask, what am I assuming to be true about me? What am I assuming to be true about my world? Do not answer with your lips. Listen instead to the quiet conversations of your mind. Listen to the tone of your inner voice, for it is those silent assumptions repeated again and again that construct the scaffolding of your future. When you find a state unworthy of you, withdraw from it. Do not linger in the thought, I am powerless. Withdraw. Do not indulge in the feeling, I am unwanted. Withdraw. For every time you consent to a lesser state, you breathe life into it. You clothe it with flesh, and it walks the earth as your experience. Instead, dare to enter higher states. Say within yourself, I am chosen, I am capable, I am provided for, I am free. At first it may feel like a lie. At first the senses may mock you, but remain there. Feel what it would be like if this were already true. As you persist, the new state will grow natural, and the old state will wither. Understand this well. Consciousness does not argue, it simply creates. If you plant a seed of fear, you cannot expect a harvest of courage. If you plant a seed of lack, You cannot expect abundance, but plant the seed of your chosen self, and in due season it will bear fruit. Do not wait for permission from the world. The world cannot tell you who you are. The world can only echo back the answer you have already given. So stand boldly in the state you desire, and let the outer follow in its own time. Some will tell you, face the facts. But I say to you, facts are only the solidified imaginations of yesterday. They are not fixed. They are not fine. They are malleable, waiting for the command of your present assumption. Never bow to facts. Bow only to the truth you choose to live from. This is the great secret of life. Consciousness is the only reality, and because it is the only reality, you are free. Free to choose again, free to define yourself anew, free to call into being that which has never yet appeared. So tonight, do not leave this place as the same person who entered. Choose a higher state. Occupy it as though it were already yours. Walk in it, speak from it, breathe in, and as surely as day follows night, your world will mirror the change. The power is within you. The question is not whether it works. It always works. The question is only what will you choose to assume? Will you continue to consent to lesser states? Or will you rise to the dignity of your true being? The decision is yours. Consciousness is the first step, and consciousness is the last step. Everything begins and ends in the unseen reality of who you believe yourself to be. Change that and you change everything. 2. Imagination. My friends, if consciousness is the foundation, then imagination is the tool by which we build. Imagination is not idle daydreaming, not fantasy with no effect. Imagination is the workshop of creation itself. Every invention, every discovery, every work of art, every event you have ever lived, first appeared in imagination before it appeared in form. Most men and women dismiss imagination as childish. They think it belongs to poets and dreamers, that it has little to do with practical life. And yet, look around this very room. The lights above us, the chairs you sit upon, the walls that surround us. All of these existed first in the imagination of someone who dared to see what was not yet visible. Imagination is not a shadow of reality. Imagination is reality itself, waiting to be called forth. When you close your eyes and picture yourself in a new state, do not think you are merely playing with thoughts. You are touching the unseen fabric from which tomorrow's facts are woven. The world outside is nothing more than crystallized imagination. I tell you tonight, do not treat imagination lightly. Do not relegate it to idle amusement. Treat it as sacred. Treat it as the doorway to the life you desire. For what you imagine with feeling and persistence must solidify into the experiences of your world. Consider this. A man imagines himself poor, always lacking, always behind. He sees himself struggling to pay the bills. He feels the weight of insufficiency upon his shoulder. Though money may pass through his hands, he remains poor, for his imagination is chained to that picture. Another man imagines himself prosperous. He sees himself provided for, guided, supplied in every circumstance. Though his outer world may still show lack, he walks as though abundance is his nature. And in time, circumstances bend. Doors open, opportunities rise. Why? Because imagination was the cause, and life must follow. Imagination does not ask permission. It does not wait for fact. It simply creates according to the picture you hold. If you dare to see yourself in a higher light, the world cannot resist. It must conform. But I must warn you, imagination is impartial. It will create whatever you feed. If you dwell in images of fear, loss, rejection, you give those states life. If you dwell in images of triumph, love, success, you give those states life. The power does not choose for you. You choose for it. So I ask, what do you rehearse in imagination each day? Do you replay scenes of failure, of arguments, of disappointment? Then you are rehearsing tomorrow's troubles. Do you picture scenes of victory, of harmony, of fulfillment? Then you are rehearsing tomorrow's joys. Imagination is rehearsal. And what you rehearse in the theater of your mind will one day play upon the stage of your world. Now, how do we use this power deliberately? First, enter into stillness. Withdraw from the noise of the outer world. Sit quietly. Close your eyes and choose the scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. Not the scene of wanting, not the scene of hoping, but the scene that would naturally follow if your wish were fact. If you long for companionship, do not picture yourself lonely, asking for love. Picture instead the warmth of a hand in yours, the sound of laughter beside you, the feeling of being cherished. If you desire success, do not picture yourself striving endlessly. Picture instead the congratulations, the doors already opened, the satisfaction of a goal achieved. Enter the scene as though it were happening now. Hear the voices, see the details, feel the atmosphere, and above all, feel the emotion of fulfillment. For it is feeling that gives imagination its creative power. A cold picture will fade. A felt picture must come alive. Many will say, but isn't this only pretending? And I answer, yes, it is pretending. But pretending with purpose, pretending with faith. Every outer fact was once a pretense. Every structure was once an unseen idea. Pretend boldly enough, and the world will call it real. Children understand this better than adults. Watch a child play. They enter imagination with such conviction that the toy becomes alive, the game becomes reality. And though others laugh, the child knows the truth. Imagination creates. We, grown and burdened, have forgotten. We must become like children again, fearless in our play, confident in our vision, unashamed to believe in what cannot yet be seen. Do not limit imagination to future hopes. Use it also to redeem the past. If there is a memory that haunts you, do not let it rule your present. Reimagine it. Rewrite the scene in your mind until it ends as it ought to have ended. Feel the relief, the healing, the joy of that new picture. Imagination is not bound by time. It can travel backward as well as forward, reshaping what was and creating what is to come. My friends, the key is persistence. A single act of imagination may not bear fruit, just as a single drop of water does not carve the stone, but return to it night after night, with faith and feeling, and you will see the landscape of your life altered. Before sleep is the golden moment. As you lie in bed drifting towards slumber, let your imagination take hold. Enter the scene of fulfillment. Feel it as real, and let that be your last conscious thought. In that drowsy state, the seed sinks deepest, and in time, you will wake not only in the morning, but into a new life. Do not be discouraged if outer facts resist. The old picture may linger for a season, but persist. The new image is stronger. It will eventually dissolve the old and take its place. Never abandon imagination because the senses deny it. The senses are latecomers. Imagination is the author. The senses are the witnesses. Remember, to imagine a state is to consent to it, and what you consent to you become. If you imagine yourself loved, you cannot remain unloved. If you imagine yourself free, you cannot remain bound. If you imagine yourself prosperous, you cannot remain poor. The law is sure. So tonight I urge you, take up imagination as your greatest ally. Use it not carelessly but deliberately. Build in mind the life you wish to live. Visit that life daily. Walk in it. Feel it. Breathe it. And soon, the outer world will echo back the song you have been singing within. Imagination is not mere fantasy. It is creation in its purest form, and the one who learns to imagine with faith and feeling holds the key to every door. The question is not whether imagination works. It always works. The only question is, what picture will you choose to live from? Choose wisely, persist faithfully, and you will see that imagination is not only the path to your desire, it is the desire fulfilled already, awaiting only your acceptance. Assumption. My friends, we have spoken of consciousness as the foundation and imagination as the tool. Now we come to the great act of creation itself. Assumption. Assumption is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. Assumption is the bold claim that what you desire is already yours. Not tomorrow. Not someday now. To assume is to step into the state of the wish fulfilled. To carry yourself as though the thing longed for is an accomplished fact. Most people live in the posture of waiting. They say, when I have the money, then I will feel secure. When I meet the right person, then I will feel loved. When the opportunity comes, then I will feel successful. But life does not work this way. You do not wait for conditions to change before you change your state. You change your state and then the conditions must follow. To assume is to invert the order. It is to say, I will feel secure now, though the bank account denies it. I will feel loved now, though no one holds me. I will feel successful now, though the evidence is not yet in sight. It is to place feeling before fact, knowing that fact must yield to feeling. This is not wishful thinking. This is not idle pretending. This is law. Whatever you assume to be true about yourself, with conviction and persistence, will harden into fact. The world is nothing more than the outward expression of the inner assumption you carry. Let me give you an example. Imagine a man who desires health, but he constantly assumes himself sick. He speaks of his illness. He thinks of his illness. He identifies as one who is unwell. Though remedies may come, though treatments may be offered, his assumption remains unchanged, and so the sickness clings to him. Another man, though weakened in body, dares to assume health. He pictures himself strong, vibrant, active. He walks in imagination as though the sickness were behind him. He thanks life for his restoration before it appears. And slowly, steadily, the body follows the mind. His assumption calls forth the healing. Do you see the difference? One waits for the fact to change. The other assumes the change and allows fact to follow. This is the key. But assumption is not a single thought. It is not a passing wish. Assumption is dwelling in the new state until it feels natural. It is wearing the garment of the wish fulfilled until it fits like skin. At first it may feel uncomfortable. At first the old identity will tug at you, whispering, "This is not true, look at the evidence." But remain faithful to the new assumption, and soon it will become the only reality you know. How do we practice assumption? Begin with a simple act. Close your eyes and ask, what would it feel like if my desire were already true? Do not think of the desire. Think from it. Enter the scene that would naturally follow its fulfillment. If your desire is success, imagine the handshake of congratulations, the words "well done," the joy of accomplishment. If your desire is love, imagine the warmth of companionship, the quiet contentment of being cherished. Then assume that state. Feel it. Carry it. Speak from it. Let your actions align with it, and refuse to surrender it, no matter what the senses may say. Some will call this delusion. They will say, "You are lying to yourself." But I tell you, the greatest lie is to assume that the present limitation is final. The only truth is what you dare to assume. Life has no choice but to match it. Think of the actor on stage. He assumes the role of king, though he is not one by birth. He puts on the costume. He speaks the lines. He carries the air of authority. And in that moment he is king. Not because of outer fact, but because he assumes the part. And the audience responds as if it was so. You are both the actor and the audience of your own life. Assume the role you wish to play, and the world will respond in kind. Do not underestimate the subtlety of assumption. It hides not only in your words but in your moods, your expectations, your quiet inner stance. You may say with your lips, "I am successful," yet if deep within you assume failure, the inner will overrule the outer. It is not what you say once but what you dwell in consistently that becomes your world. Examine your assumptions tonight. Ask yourself, what do I expect when I wake each morning? What do I assume when I meet a stranger? What do I assume when I think of my future? These quiet convictions shape the scenery of your days more than any action you take. Assumption is the invisible architect of destiny. To change your life, you must change your assumptions. Not by force, not by effort, but by inner consent. Simply assume a higher truth about yourself, and let that assumption guide your feeling and behavior until the world reflects it back. Now some of you may wonder, how can I assume something that feels so far from my present reality? I tell you, begin with imagination. Return to the scenes we have spoken of. Immerse yourself in them until the feeling grows natural. And once you taste that feeling, claim it. Say to yourself, "This is who I am now," and return to it again and again until the old self fades. Assumption does not work because of effort. It works because of identity. The moment you assume a new identity, the world rearranges to match it. If you assume yourself loved, you cannot remain unloved. If you assume yourself free, you cannot remain bound. The state you occupy will draw to itself the circumstances, people and events that correspond. So tonight I urge you, dare to assume boldly. Do not wait for facts. Do not wait for evidence. Choose now the self you wish to be, and wear that garment as if it were already yours. Walk in the world as though your desire were fulfilled. Speak from that place. Act from that place. Feel from that place. And as surely as night follows day, the outer will mirror the inner. The law is certain. What you assume to be true will harden into fact. Therefore choose your assumptions wisely. Refuse the lesser. Embrace the greater. And persist until the greater feels natural. Assumption is creation in motion. It is the bridge from desire to fulfillment. And the one who learns to assume with faith and persistence holds the key to every transformation. The question is not whether assumption works. It always works. The only question is, what are you assuming right now? For that assumption is the seed of tomorrow's harvest. So I leave you with this challenge. Assume the best, assume the noblest, assume the highest, and then watch as life with precision and certainty bows to your inner decree. 4. Feeling. My friends, we have spoken of consciousness as the foundation, imagination as the tool, and assumption as the bridge. But tonight we arrive at the beating heart of creation itself. Feeling. Feeling is the secret thread that binds the invisible to the visible. It is not enough to imagine a scene. It is not enough to assume a role. Unless you feel it, you will not give it life. Thought alone is shadow. Feeling is substance. Feeling is the spark that sets the picture aflame and calls it into the world of form. Look at your own life, and you will see the truth of this. Have you not noticed that the moments most deeply felt are the moments that leave their mark? A casual thought comes and goes, forgotten by morning, but a feeling of love, of fear, of joy, of anger stays with you, shaping your actions, coloring your choices, directing your path. Feeling is the magnet that draws the outer to match the inner. You may think, if only I could control my outer world, then I would feel secure. Then I would feel joyful, then I would feel free. But I tell you, the order is reversed. Feel it first, and the outer world will mirror it back. Do not wait for the world to make you feel. Choose the feeling and the world must obey. Imagine a man who desires success. He pictures it in his mind. He writes it in his journal. He even speaks of it to others. But within he feels unworthy. He feels doubtful. He feels small. And so, though he imagines, though he assumes with words, the feeling betrays him and his world answers not his words, but his heart. Now picture another man. He may lack the evidence of success. His circumstances may appear meager, yet within he feels accomplished. He feels capable. He feels as though the world is bending to favor him. And soon it does. Why? Because feeling was the language life understood. Do you see then? The world does not respond to empty thoughts. It responds to the feeling that animates those thoughts. Feeling is the fuel. Without it, the engine does not run. So how do we awaken the right feeling? Begin in imagination, yes. Enter the scene of your fulfilled desire. But do not only see it, touch it, hear it, taste it, breathe it. Let the scene become alive in your senses until you feel the naturalness of its reality. It is not enough to say, I will be wealthy. Feel the relief of bills paid, the gratitude of freedom, the ease of abundance. It is not enough to say, I will be loved. Feel the warmth of arms around you, the laughter of companionship, the quiet security of belonging. Feeling transforms imagination from shadow into substance. And do not say, but I cannot control my feelings. You control them every day. When you replay an insult, you choose to feel anger again. When you remember a kindness, you choose to feel joy again. If you can feel at the memory of the past, you can feel at the vision of the future. The power is already yours. You simply have not used it deliberately. Make this your practice before sleep each night. Choose the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not let the day end in worry. Do not carry the residue of fear into the silence of the night. Instead, choose the feeling of success, of love, of freedom, and let that be the last note you strike. In that drowsy state between waking and sleep, feeling sinks deep, planting itself in the fertile soil of the subconscious, and what is planted there must bear fruit. Some will object, but I cannot feel what is not true. And I tell you, everything you now feel was once untrue, until you made it real. Was there not a time when you feared an event that had not yet happened? Did not that fear feel real though the fact was absent? And did not life often arrange itself to justify the fear? If you can feel fear before its object appears, why not feel joy before its cause arrives? If you can feel dread into being, why not feel delight into being? Feeling does not wait for facts. Feeling creates facts. This is why gratitude is so powerful. Gratitude is the assumption already clothed in feeling. When you give thanks for what is unseen, you feel its presence before the senses can confirm it. And that feeling, repeated, must externalize itself. Gratitude is not a courtesy, it is a creative force. Let me speak plainly. You are always feeling something, and whatever you feel consistently becomes the shape of your world. If you feel small, life will shrink before you. If you feel powerful, life will expand to match. If you feel rejected, the world will reject you. If you feel chosen, the world will choose you. Feeling is impartial, just as fire is impartial. Use it wisely and it will warm you. Use it foolishly and it will burn you. Tonight I ask you to take responsibility for your feelings. Do not wait for the world to dictate them. Create them deliberately. Enter the state of joy even when circumstances mock you. Enter the state of peace even when the storm rages outside. Enter the state of fulfillment even when the evidence denies it, and watch as the evidence bends. For feeling is the bridge across which desire travels into fact. You cannot cross that bridge with empty thoughts. You cannot cross it with hollow words. You cross it only with the weight of genuine feeling. Do not think this is difficult. You do it already. Unconscious. You have worried yourself into failure. You have feared yourself into sickness. You have doubted yourself into delay. If you can do all this by feeling the wrong things, imagine what you can do by feeling the right ones. So tonight I urge you, feel it real. Whatever your desire, clothe it in feeling. Return to it again and again until it grows natural. Refuse the lesser feelings. Refuse the moods of defeat. Refuse the posture of waiting. Choose instead the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and carry it with you as your constant companion. The world may take time to catch up, but it must catch up, for feeling is the substance of reality, and reality is but the echo of your inner tone. Remember this: thoughts are seeds, assumption is the soil, but feeling is the water that brings them to life. Without feeling, the seed lies dormant. With feeling, it must grow. So I leave you with this challenge. Tonight before you sleep, choose the feeling of your fulfilled desire. Do not wait for tomorrow. Feel it now, live in it now, walk in it now, and watch as tomorrow rises to meet you in the likeness of your chosen feeling. For feeling is the language of creation, the law of life, the secret of all manifestation. Master feeling, and you master the world. 5. Repetition. My friends, we have seen that consciousness is the foundation, imagination the tool, assumption the bridge, and feeling the fire that gives life to the unseen. Now we arrive at a step often overlooked, yet absolutely essential. Repetition is the mother of mastery. It is the drumbeat that trains the subconscious to march in a new direction. One act of imagination, one fleeting assumption, one passing feeling. These are sparks, but repetition is the steady flame that warms the soul and burns away doubt. Look at the world around you, and you will see the power of repetition everywhere. How did you learn your language? By repeating words until they became natural. How did you learn to walk? By repeating the action until balance replaced stumbling. Every skill, every habit, every pattern in your life has been formed by repetition. And so it is with creation. The subconscious does not accept what you touch lightly. It accepts what you return to again and again. You cannot plant a seed today and walk away expecting a forest tomorrow. You water it, you return to it, you tend it daily until the roots take hold. Repetition is that watering. Repetition is that tending. Consider the man who desires wealth. He imagines once, feels once, and then says, it has not come. But another man imagines morning and night, repeats the inner scene until it grows vivid, and soon his subconscious accepts it as fact. And once accepted within, it must be expressed without. Repetition wears away resistance. At first the mind rebels. It says, this is fantasy. This cannot be. But return again and again, and the protest weakens. Just as water shapes stone by persistence, repetition shapes the mind into alignment. The stone does not yield at the first drop, but drop by drop it is carved. So too your reality is carved by repeated impression. Some of you think repetition is dull. You imagine once and grow restless. But repetition is not dull when the feeling is real. It is delightful to rehearse success when you taste it inwardly. It is joyous to repeat love when you feel its warmth in imagination. Only when you treat the act as mechanical does it feel lifeless. But when you engage the heart, repetition becomes play. The truth is, you are already repeating something. You repeat your worries, you repeat your complaints, you repeat your doubts. Do you not rehearse arguments in your mind? Do you not replay fears? That is repetition too. And it has given birth to much of your unwanted life. If repetition of fear could create trouble, imagine what repetition of faith could create. If repeating lack could produce poverty, imagine what repeating abundance could produce. So I ask you, why not take control of what you repeat? Why not consciously choose the inner scenes, the inner words, the inner tones you allow to echo in your mind? Here is the secret. The subconscious accepts whatever you persist in feeling, whether true or false, good or bad. It has no filter, no judgment. It cannot say, this is only imagination, therefore I will not act. No, it acts on what is impressed upon it through repetition and feeling. And once impressed, it compels the outer world to mirror it. This is why sacred traditions throughout time have used repetition, chants, prayers, affirmations, not because the words have magic, but because repetition impresses belief. Say a thing often enough, with feeling, and it becomes your reality. Make it practical. Each morning, before you rush into the noise of the day, take 5 minutes to repeat your inner vision. See it again, feel it again, assume it again. And each night as you drift into sleep, repeat it once more. Twice a day, every day, until it becomes natural. For naturalness is the sign of acceptance. When your desire feels normal, it is on the brink of birth. Think of an actor rehearsing a role. He does not read the script once and step onto the stage. He rehearses until the lines are second nature, until the role feels like himself. That is what you must do with your desire. Rehearse it until the role of wealth, of love, of health, of success feels like your true identity. Then the stage of life will present it through you. Do not be discouraged if nothing seems to happen at first. The first repetition may feel awkward. The second may feel forced, but keep going. For repetition is not measured by how you feel at the beginning, but by what it plants in the end. Persistence, not perfection, is the key. Ask the athlete how he built strength. 1 lift did not change him. 10 lifts did not change him. But day after day, repetition carved his muscles until what was once heavy became light. So too with the mind. Repeat the inner act, and what once felt impossible will soon feel inevitable. Repetition also builds faith. The first time you imagine, doubt is loud. The second time, doubt whispers. The 10th time, doubt is silent. By the 100th time, the new state feels like home. And once the subconscious feels at home, the world outside must furnish the evidence. Now let me give you a practice. Tonight, when you lie down to sleep, choose one desire, enter into its scene, feel it real. And then tomorrow, repeat it. And the next day, repeat it again. Do this for 30 days, not as duty, but as delight. Watch how your mind changes. Watch how the feeling grows natural. And soon, watch how life shifts to echo it. This is not fantasy. This is law. Whatever is impressed through repetition must be expressed through fact. The world cannot resist the persistent inner image. Remember, repetition is not about forcing. It is about familiarizing. It is not about straining. It is about return. Each time you repeat, you sink the image deeper into the subconscious until it becomes your new normal. And once it is normal within, it must become normal without. So let me say it again, for the sake of the very principle I am teaching. Repetition is the path to mastery. Repetition is the water that nourishes the seed. Repetition is the hammer that breaks resistance. Repetition is the song that teaches the heart a new tune. Repeat until your desire feels natural. Repeat until it no longer feels like imagination, but memory. Repeat until it ceases to be effort and becomes identity. Then wait, for the world will follow. Do not underestimate this step. Many fail not because they lack imagination, not because they lack desire, but because they lack repetition. They imagine once, then quit. They feel once, then abandon it. They assume for a day, then return to doubt. But those who persist, those who repeat, those who rehearse the vision until it sings in their bones, these are the ones who see the promise fulfilled. So tonight, make repetition your ally. Choose one vision, one feeling, one assumption, and return to it again and again, until it is carved into the bedrock of your being. And when it is carved there, the world itself will bend to display it. For repetition is the rhythm of creation. Keep the rhythm, and life must dance to your tune. 6th revision. My friends, we have walked through consciousness, imagination, assumption, feeling, and repetition. Each has shown you the power within. But tonight I want to share with you a power so extraordinary that if you use it faithfully, you will rewrite your destiny. This step is called revision. Revision is the art of taking the past, the mistakes, the failures, the hurts, the missed opportunities, and reshaping them in imagination until they shine with the outcome you desire. You are not condemned by yesterday unless you choose to leave it unchanged. You are not chained to your history unless you allow the memory to remain unhealed. For the past lives only in your mind, and what lives in your mind continues to create. Think of it, the quarrel you had 10 years ago still burns when you recall it. The disappointment you felt last month still stings when you replay it. Memory is creation in motion. Each time you relive the pain, you replant the seed of loss. Each time you rehearse the failure, you reinforce its power. But revision breaks that cycle. Revision says, I will not accept the past as it was. I will imagine it as it should have been. And in doing so, I will change the meaning, the feeling, and the fruit it bears in my life. The world tells you the past is fixed. It says what happened cannot be undone. But I tell you the past is pliable. It bends under the hand of imagination. When you revise, you are not denying that something happened. You are choosing to give it a new shape in consciousness. And since consciousness is the only reality, the revised scene becomes more real than the record of the senses. Let me give you an example. Suppose yesterday you were insulted. The words cut deep, and today you still feel the wound. You can allow that insult to live on, to harden into resentment, to shape your future encounters. Or you can revise. Tonight in imagination you return to that moment. But instead of hearing the insult, you hear words of kindness. Instead of feeling hurt, you feel respect. You repeat this new scene until it feels natural. And when it does, something remarkable happens. The sting disappears. The memory heals, and future encounters with that person or others take on a new harmony. Or consider this. You failed an exam, missed an opportunity, lost a chance you desperately wanted. Do not replay the failure. Revise it. See yourself succeeding. Hear the congratulations. Feel the joy of victory. And by revising the past in imagination, you plant a new cause that must produce a new effect. Some of you will ask, but how can changing the past in my mind alter what has already happened? I answer, because the past is not dead. It lives now, in your memory, shaping your present and your future. And when you revise the memory, you change its influence. You cut off the bitter root and plant a fruitful one in its place. Life is not a series of unalterable facts. Life is a tapestry woven from states of consciousness, and consciousness knows no time. The moment you revise, you reach back and reweave the pattern. And when you reweave the past, the future must also change. For the two are tied together. Think of the artist who paints and then steps back. If he does not like what he sees, he does not throw away the canvas. He revises it. He paints over the mistake. He reshapes the line. He changes the color. Soon the flaw is gone, replaced by beauty. So it is with you. Your life is your canvas. If yesterday's stroke was clumsy, paint it anew in imagination. The world will not know how you did it, but it will reflect the change. Now, how do we practice revision? Each night before sleep, review the day. Walk through its scenes. Where there was failure, imagine success. Where there was anger, imagine peace. Where there was lack, imagine abundance. Rewrite the day as you wish it had been. Do this until it feels real, and then drift into sleep. By this practice, you cleanse the mind of unwanted seeds and plant the garden you desire. But revision is not only for yesterday. It is for years gone by. It is for the childhood memory that still haunts you. It is for the lost opportunity that still grieves you. It is for every moment that still echoes with pain. Go back in imagination, change it. Replace the tears with laughter, the rejection with acceptance, the failure with triumph. Do this faithfully, and you will free yourself from chains you did not even know you carried. There are those who say that is self-deception, but I say no, it is true. For truth is not what the senses record. Truth is what imagination creates. The senses record shadows, imagination gives light. And if you choose to revise in imagination, you align yourself with the greater truth, that all things are possible to him who believes. The beauty of revision is that it not only heals the past, it transforms the present. You will find relationships improving, opportunities opening, doors unlocking, simply because you dared to change the root instead of cursing the fruit. And as the present changes, the future takes on an entirely new shape. Let me repeat this for you, for it is vital. You are not the victim of your past. You are the master of it. You are not trapped by what happened. You are free to revise it. And the act of revision is not idle fantasy. It is creative power in motion. Take courage in this, for no man, no circumstance, no mistake can bind you. If you know this secret, you can rewrite every sorrow into joy, every failure into victory, every loss into gain. You can revise the story of your life until it reads like the tale you always wished to live. But this power demands practice. Do not wait until disaster strikes. Begin tonight. Revise the little things, the missed train, the awkward conversation, the wasted hour. Revise them into what you wanted. Train your imagination on the small, and soon you will wield it on the great. And let me assure you, The results will come. They may come quietly, in subtle shifts of mood, in gentle changes of circumstance, or they may come dramatically, in sudden turns of fortune, but they will come, for the law cannot fail. The revised state once impressed upon the subconscious must express itself in the world. So I say to you tonight, be bold enough to revise. Refuse to accept the past as a prison. Dare to rewrite it as promise. And when you do, the chains of regret will fall. The wounds of memory will heal. And the path ahead will blaze with new light. Revision is the key to freedom. Use it and you will no longer fear yesterday. Use it and tomorrow will become your servant. Use it and life itself will bend to your vision. So I leave you with this charge. Tonight, before you close your eyes, take one memory, painful, bitter, or small, and revise it into joy. Do it again tomorrow, and the next night, and the next. Soon you will discover that you are not merely living life, you are rewriting it, and in rewriting, you are reborn. 7. Faith. My friends, tonight we arrive at the step that binds all others together. You may imagine, you may assume, you may feel and revise, but without faith your efforts crumble into dust. Faith is the golden thread that ties imagination to manifestation. It is the invisible bridge between your inner conviction and your outer experience. What is faith? Many confuse it with mere hope or weak belief. But faith is not timid. Faith is fierce. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. A steadfast confidence that what you have imagined and assumed already exists, though the world of the senses denies it. Faith is seeing with the eyes of the spirit when the eyes of the body see nothing. Look at your life as it stands today. Some of you are surrounded by lack. Some are weighed down by sorrow. Some are bound by limitations. If you rely only on your senses, you will conclude that your vision is impossible. But if you walk by faith, you will hold fast to the inner vision until the outer world conforms. Faith is not blind. It is foresight. It is the inner recognition of truth before the outer evidence arrives. So let me put it plainly. Faith is the act of assuming that what you desire is already yours, and then refusing to be moved by appearances to the contrary. It is saying, though I see no harvest, I know the seed has been planted. Though the ground is bare, I know the roots are growing. Though the world says no, I know the answer is yes. You may ask, how do I cultivate this faith? How do I stand firm when everything around me shouts defeat? The answer is practice. Faith is a muscle, and like every muscle, it strengthens by use. Begin with the small things. Assume the parking space is yours and watch it appear. Assume the phone call comes and it will ring. Assume harmony with a friend and see the quarrel dissolve. Each small victory builds your confidence until at last you are prepared to stand unwavering before the greater storms of life. But beware, faith does not grow in divided soil. If today you assume your desire fulfilled, but tomorrow you fall into doubt, you uproot the seed. Faith requires persistence. It is holding the vision through every storm, through every denial, through every appearance of failure. The man of faith does not look at circumstances. He looks through them. He sees only the outcome he has already accepted in imagination. Think of the farmer. He plants the seed and covers it with soil. He does not dig it up each morning to check if it grows. He trusts the process. He waters. He waits. He believes. In time, the harvest appears. So it is with you. Your imagination is the soil. Your assumption is the seed. And faith is the quiet confidence that the harvest must come. Faith is not loud. It does not shout. It does not boast. It is calm, steady, unshakable. Others may call you foolish. They may mock your certainty when nothing seems to change. Let them laugh. Faith does not need approval. Faith does not seek applause. Faith rests in knowing. And let me tell you this. Every great accomplishment in history was born of the inventor who built the machine, the artist who painted the masterpiece, the leader who transformed nations. Each held an inner vision unseen by others. They were told it was impossible, yet they believed. They were told it could not be done, yet they persisted. Faith alone carried them forward until the unseen became seen. Some of you have dreams that seem beyond reach, a business you long to start, a healing you long to experience, a relationship you long to restore. The world may say, it cannot be done, but the world is not the final authority. Your imagination is. Hold your dream in faith, and it will unfold in its perfect time and form. There will be moments of testing. You will be tempted to give up. to believe the evidence of failure. In those moments, remember, faith is not tested when the sun shines. It is tested in the storm. Stand firm. Speak the truth of your vision to yourself again and again. Affirm. It is done. It is mine. I am already what I seek to be. This is the language of faith. Do not confuse faith with forcing. Faith is not struggle. It is not begging or pleading with the universe. Faith is rest. It is the quiet assurance that what you desire is already established in the unseen. When you truly have faith, you stop asking, will it happen? And you begin saying, it is happening now, though my eyes do not yet see it. Let me share an image with you. Imagine walking across a great bridge, shrouded in fog. You cannot see the other side, but you know it is there. Step by step, you walk in trust. Each step reveals more of the path, until at last the end is in sight. Faith is that walk. You may not see the destination clearly, but every step forward in belief brings it nearer, until one day it stands fully revealed. Now I urge you, examine your own faith. Are you loyal to your vision? Or do you abandon it at the first sign of resistance? Do you hold fast to the unseen? Or do you surrender to appearances? Strengthen your faith by discipline. Each night enter into the state of your wish fulfilled. Feel it as real. Fall asleep in that state. And when you rise in the morning, carry that inner conviction with you. This daily practice will forge a faith unshakable by circumstance. Faith is the foundation upon which the edifice of your dreams is built. Without it, imagination wavers, assumption crumbles, feeling fades, repetition weakens, revision falters, but with it all things are possible. So I charge you tonight, live by faith, not by sight. Walk in the confidence of your unseen vision. When the world says no, let your heart declare yes. When doubt whispers, answer with certainty. When fear threatens, respond with courage. For faith is your shield, your anchor, your torch in the night. Remember this truth. What you hold in faith must one day be held in your hand. What you see in imagination and claim with faith must one day stand in your experience. Faith never fails. So go forth, my friends, and be faithful to your vision. Let faith carry you when your strength falters. Let faith lift you when the evidence denies you. Let faith anchor you when the storm rages. And in the end you will look back and say, I held to the unseen and now it is seen. I believe, and now it is so. That is the power of faith. Use it, and nothing will be impossible to you. 8. Persistence. My friends, tonight we come to a step that separates the dreamers from the achievers, the wishers from the creators, the weak from the strong. That step is persistence. You see, imagination is the seed, assumption is the soil, faith is the water, but persistence is the sunlight that brings it to life. Without persistence, your vision withers. Without persistence, your dream dies in the cradle. Persistence is the refusal to turn back when the road grows long, when the voices of doubt grow loud, when the world shows you everything but the outcome you desire. Hear me clearly. Every great achievement in human history was born not of talent alone, not of brilliance alone, not even of faith alone, but of persistence. It is the stubborn, unshakable decision to hold your inner conviction until the outer world bends to match. Now let me ask you, how many times have you begun with excitement, with fire in your heart, only to surrender when results did not come swiftly? How many times have you planted the seed of imagination, watered it with assumption, yet abandoned it before the harvest because you grew impatient? This is where most fail. They give up too soon. They believe the silence means nothing is happening. They mistake delay for denial. But persistence knows better. Persistence understands that the unseen is always at work, that roots are growing beneath the soil long before the shoot breaks the surface. Persistence keeps showing up, keeps imagining, keeps assuming, keeps standing in faith, even when the senses scream, it's not working. My friends, you must become deaf to appearances and blind to obstacles. If the vision is true within you, persistence demands you hold it until it hardens into fact. Let me paint a picture. Imagine the sculptor standing before the block of marble. With each strike of the chisel, nothing seems to change. 100 blows and still the figure is hidden. But the sculptor persists, blow after blow, day after day, until at last the form emerges. Had he stopped after the 100th strike, the masterpiece would have remained unseen. So it is with you. Each act of imagination, each moment of faith, each repetition of feeling is another strike upon the marble of reality. Persistence guarantees that one day, the vision within will stand revealed. Persistence is not stubbornness in folly. It is not clinging to something unworthy of your soul. True persistence is loyalty to your higher vision, the vision that burns in your heart and will not let you rest until it is made manifest. When you persist in such a vision, you align yourself with the creative power of life itself. But let me warn you, persistence will be tested. Life will present you with every reason to quit. Friends may doubt you, circumstances may mock you, time may tempt you with delay. And yet those who persist, those who refuse to yield, those who hold to their inner conviction, they are the ones who triumph. Ask yourself tonight, what would happen if I never gave up? What would unfold if I clung to my vision no matter how long it took? No matter what others said, no matter how barren the ground appeared, the answer is simple. Your vision would become your reality. Persistence is the secret ingredient that transforms desire into destiny. Think of the stream that carves a canyon. It does not do so in a day or a week or a year. It flows drop by drop, century after century, until stone itself yields to its persistence. That same force lives in you. If water can carve rock, surely your persistence can carve a new life. Do not measure your progress by the calendar. Do not say it has been a week, a month, a year, and still nothing has changed. Time is no master here. The only true measure is your persistence. Hold fast to the vision until it takes shape, whether in a day or a decade. Some of you may ask, but what if I grow weary? What if doubt overwhelms me? To you I say, rest, if you must, but never quit. Revisit your imagination, return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, refresh your faith. But above all, for persistence is not the absence of struggle. It is the decision to continue despite it. And let us be clear, persistence does not mean constant effort in the outer world. It means constancy in the inner world. You need not struggle, strive, or labor endlessly. What you must do is remain loyal to your vision, unwavering in your assumption, consistent in your inner state. That is persistence. It is easy to persist when results are visible. It is easy to believe when signs appear quickly. But the true test of persistence is silence. The space between planting and harvest, the long night when nothing seems to stir, that is where persistence is forged. That is where champions are made. Look at the oak tree. The acorn falls, and for months, even years, nothing but a fragile sprout. Yet deep beneath the soil, roots spread wide and strong. Had the acorn quit in the first season, the oak would never stand. But persistence carried it through storm and drought, until one day it towered above all. And so I tell you, persist. Persist in your vision when all evidence denies it. Persist in your assumption when the senses mock you. Persist in your faith when the world calls you foolish. For persistence is the hand that turns the invisible into the visible, the imagined into the experienced, the dream into the destiny. Let this truth sink deep into your heart. Every obstacle is temporary. Every delay is an illusion. Every denial is a lie. The only permanent thing is your vision, and persistence guarantees it will stand revealed. So tonight, commit yourself anew. Whatever vision burns within you, hold it, guard it, nurture it, and persist until it lives in the world as surely as it lives in your mind. For the one who persists cannot fail. And when you look back upon your life, you will not remember the delays, the denials, the doubts. You will remember only that you persisted. And in persisting you conquered. So rise up, my friends. Persist in your imagination. Persist in your assumption. Persist in your faith. Persist until the unseen becomes seen. For persistence is power, and that power is yours. 9. I am, my friends. Tonight we arrive at the most sacred step of all. The step that holds within it the key to every other principle I have given you. This step is the recognition of the two most powerful words you will ever speak. I am. Everything begins and ends here. These words are not casual. They are not mere grammar. They are the creative declaration of your being. When you say I am, you are planting the seed of identity, and what you attach to it will grow in your life as surely as the sun rises each morning. Most people use these words carelessly. They say, I am tired, I am weak, I am unlucky, I am poor. And without knowing it, they summon these conditions into their lives. They call them forth, they clothe themselves in them. And then they wonder why life seems so heavy, so unfair. But those who awaken understand that I am is holy. It is the name of power. It is the root of creation. When you declare, I am strong, I am blessed, I am wealthy, I am loved, you are not making a wish. You are shaping reality. You are commanding life itself to rearrange and reflect the identity you have claimed. Now listen carefully. The outer world always mirrors the inner claim. If you wish to know what you have been saying with your I am, look around you. Your circumstances, your relationships, your health, your finances, they are but the echo of your inner declaration. Life says yes to whatever you attach to I am. So the question before you tonight is simple. What are you calling yourself? Understand this. You can never rise higher than the image you hold of yourself. If you call yourself small, the world will keep you small. If you call yourself unworthy, the world will deny you worth. But if you dare to say, I am abundant, I am powerful, I am chosen, I am free, then the world must bow to your declaration, for it cannot resist the authority of I am. But here is the challenge. Most people speak their I am in fear, in doubt, in habit. They let yesterday's failures dictate today's identity. They say, I am a victim of my past. I am defined by my mistakes. My friends, hear me well. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not what others have told you. You are only what you declare yourself to be. And the moment you change your declaration, you change your destiny. Think of it like this. I am is the brush, and imagination is the canvas. Whatever picture you paint with these words will soon hang in the gallery of your life. Speak poorly and your canvas grows dark. Speak boldly and your canvas fills with light. Let me ask you, do you realize that every great leader, every visionary, every giant of history began with a bold declaration of I am? They claimed greatness before the world ever saw it. They spoke identity before they had evidence. They lived from the truth within, and the world caught up. So I say to you tonight, dare to declare who you are, not based on appearances, not based on circumstances, but based on vision. Say I am what you desire and persist until the world reflects it. But let me take you deep. I am is not only personal, it is universal. It is not only about who you are, it is about the very power that animates life itself. Every time you say I am, you are touching the eternal, the unchanging essence of being. You are aligning yourself with the source of creation. That is why it is sacred. That is why it is unstoppable. And so I must warn you, never use these words lightly. Guard them as you would guard a treasure. Do not let idle speech drag you down. Do not let careless words chain you to mediocrity. Every declaration is a command to life, and life will obey. Now let me show you how to practice. Each morning when you rise, before the voices of doubt creep in, stand tall and declare, I am healthy, I am abundant, I am loved, I am free. Feel it, own it, let it seep into your bones. Let it sing in your heart. This is not pretending, this is creating. And when the day challenges you, when problems arise, when setbacks appear, resist the temptation to speak defeat. Do not say I am hopeless. Say instead, I am greater than this obstacle. I am victory in disguise. I am more than enough. In doing so, you shift the balance of power. You call forth the solution instead of the problem. Remember this. The world will always try to label you. It will say, you are too small. You are too late. You are too old. You are too broken. But the world does not get the final say. You do. Tear off every false label. Refuse every lie. Stand firm and declare your truth. I am unlimited. I am eternal. I am destined for greatness. And let us go even further. The deepest practice of I am is silence. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply and simply affirm I am. No title, no description, no attachment. Just I am. In that stillness you touch the essence of being itself. In that silence you find your true self, beyond all limitation. And from that place, anything is possible. So tonight I charge you, never again use these words to curse yourself. Never again attach weakness, lack, or despair to I am. From this night forward, let your I am be your crown, your shield, your sword. Declare only that which uplifts, empowers, and expands you. For when you master I am, you master life. When you command I am, the universe bows. When you live in the power of I am, there is no limit to what you can create. So rise, my friends, rise in the authority of your declaration. Say with me now, I am abundance, I am power, I am health, I am love, I am freedom, I am destiny fulfilled. And let the world rearrange itself to honor your word. 10. Gratitude. My friends, tonight we arrive at the final step. We have walked together through consciousness, imagination, assumption, feeling, repetition, revision, faith, persistence, the power of I am, and now we reach the crown of it all, gratitude. Why gratitude? Because gratitude is the seal. Gratitude is the invisible ink that stamps your desire as already yours. Gratitude is not begging, not pleading, not waiting for life to deliver. It is the recognition that the gift has already been placed in your hands. Gratitude is the song of fulfillment. Most people misunderstand gratitude. They think it is something you show only after things change, after the blessing appears, after the money arrives, after the healing comes. They wait. But true gratitude does not wait. True gratitude celebrates the unseen. It rejoices in the invisible. It says thank you before there is evidence, because it knows evidence must follow. Think of it like this. If a dear friend promised you a gift and you trusted them completely, would you not already feel the joy before the package arrived? Would you not already say thank you knowing it is certain? That is the essence of gratitude. It is the joy of certainty. When you give thanks in advance, you confess your faith in the unseen. You say, it is done. I already have it. I already am. And life, faithful to your declaration, mirrors back what you have claimed. Now let me warn you. Ingratitude closes the door. Complaining, doubting, resenting, these are poisons that choke creation. Every time you say, why hasn't it come yet? Why is my life so unfair? You push the blessing away. You declare lack, and lack multiplies. But when you say thank you, thank you, thank you, even when nothing has yet changed, you swing the door wide open. Gratitude is the hand that receives. Gratitude is the magnet that draws. Gratitude is the evidence of faith. So how do you practice it? Begin and end each day in thanksgiving. Before your eyes open in the morning, whisper, thank you. Not for what you hope will come, but for what already is. Thank you for the breath in your lungs. Thank you for the vision of your dream. Thank you for the desire in your heart, for desire is the proof of possibility. Then, as you move through your day, turn every obstacle into an opportunity for gratitude. Did you face a problem? Say thank you for this is the soil of my growth. Did you encounter delay? Say thank you for this is preparing me for a greater unfolding. Gratitude transforms every shadow into light, every setback into a stepping stone. And at night as you close your eyes, let gratitude be the last word on your lips. Revise your day, yes, but seal your revision with thanks. Say thank you that this is already accomplished. Thank you that my world is already reshaped. Thank you that what I have imagined is mine. Sleep in that feeling, and you will rise to a world that bends to your gratitude. Now let me take you deep. Gratitude is not only a practice, it is a state of being. When you live in gratitude, you live in alignment with the highest law of creation. For gratitude assumes completion. Gratitude declares, it is finished. Gratitude says, I need not struggle, for it is already given. Gratitude is rest, the rest of one who knows the outcome is secure. And so I must ask you, what would your life look like if you lived every moment in gratitude? If every breath was a thank you, if every desire was already celebrated as accomplished, imagine the joy, the peace, the freedom that would flood your being. Friends, gratitude is not weakness. Gratitude is not complacency. Gratitude is the strongest stance you can take, for it anchors you in the reality of your vision and blinds you to the lies of lack. Gratitude says, I refuse to bow to appearances. I rejoice in the truth of my unseen reality. When you give thanks for what is unseen, you are not deceiving yourself. You are declaring your higher self. You are calling forth the unseen into form. You are aligning with the eternal law, that what you hold within will soon appear without. Gratitude is the bridge. Gratitude is the proof that you already possess. So tonight let me leave you with this charge. Flood your world with gratitude. Thank your way into abundance. Thank your way into health. Thank your way into love, freedom, and fulfillment. Let gratitude be the language of your heart, and the world will echo back your song. And remember this, the journey we have walked together through consciousness, imagination, assumption, feeling, repetition, revision, faith, persistence, the power of I am, all of it finds its fulfillment in gratitude. Gratitude is the amen, the final word, the closing seal. Without it, the work is incomplete. With it, the work is unstoppable. So stand with me now, and let us close this journey as we began, with faith, with vision, and with fire in our hearts. Say with me, thank you. Thank you that it is already done. Thank you that I already am all that I desire to be. Thank you that nothing can stop the unfolding of my dream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let the curtain close on doubt, on fear, on waiting. Let the curtain rise on joy, on fulfillment, on the life you were always meant to live. This, my friends, is the final key. Gratitude, use it, live it, breathe it, and watch your world transform.